Okay, so we have used the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side of a right triangle, and we are going to continue with that learning goal, although we are going to shift our focus from finding the hypotenuse, which is our C, to finding a leg. And remember that the legs are interchangeable, so you need to make sure that you have your mathematics chart and your notes ready to go. Okay? All right, so I just want to point out again, you're on your mathematics chart. At the bottom of your mathematics chart is the additional information. There's Pythagorean theorem here. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. I know you probably can say it in your sleep by now, but I just want to make sure you understand where it is in case you forget it for some reason. All right, so here's our notes. Pythagorean theorem, part 2. The Pythagorean theorem states that the sum of the square of the legs A and B is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. So this is the hypotenuse here, C. We've been finding this, and I know it's hard to kind of see, but this is your A, this is your B. I guess I could be using a really dark and you'd see it, and this is C. Okay, remember we draw our arrow across. So this side length is 5, all right, and this area of the square is 5 squared, meaning it's 5 times 5, which is, hopefully you all know, is 25. So if I counted these, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 times 5 makes 25. So the area of the square is 5 squared, okay? So here we go. We've got a squared. How many is here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? Plus b squared. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is equal to c squared, which I just said was 25. Now, remember that this is a square, so it's really the side length, 3 squared, plus the side length, 4 squared, is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squared, okay? That concept needs to get in. So what do we do to find C? This is just a review of what we've been doing, okay? So here we're going to draw our arrow and we're going to indicate C. I don't care which one you call A or which one you call B, but I want you to designate them. First step is to write your formula. A squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. And today I know that I have taught you a cheater, but right now we're just going to show all of our steps. So I've got 15 squared plus 20 squared is equal to c squared. And that would be 15 squared in your calculator. If you don't remember how to do that, you are going to just put in 15 and hit the x squared button right here, and that gets you 225, plus then you're going to do 20 squared and hit the entered is 400 is equal to c squared. 625, you add those together, is c squared. And then remember, to undo a square, we do what? Oh, I hope you remember. What is it called? To undo a square. Think, think, think. That's what Blue's Clues does anyways, right? Think, think. No, that's Winnie the Pooh. Think, think, think. Okay, so you hit second, you're going to take the square root, which is right on top of the square. So square root, your 625, and you get 25 is equal to C. So that's the side length C. Okay? So this would C is equal to 25. Okay? So let's see what happens when we need to find a leg. You're going to be using your algebraic skills. All right? So here. So how do we find the leg of a right triangle using the formula a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared? Now, remember I told you I don't care what you call A or B. All that matters is which one is C. So I'm going to do this. This is my C. This is my A, and this is my B. Now today you're just going to be doing pictures of triangles, so it's going to be really simple to identify whether you're looking for a leg or you're looking for the hypotenuse. And obviously today's practice, all we're going to do is look for legs. I'm going to show you both ways, how to find A and how to find B, but I think it's easier just to build a pattern, and the one that you're missing is always an A or always a B, but that's up to you. Okay, so first thing, we're going to do 5 steps today. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay, so I don't know what my A is, do I? So I'm going to write A squared plus, what's my B? 48 squared is equal to C, which is 50 squared. Now, today you're going to show all your steps. Yes, tomorrow I'll teach you a little shortcut. All right, so we've got A squared, can't do anything with that, plus what's 48 squared? 48 squared is equal to 2304. So 2304. If you are not using your calculator as I am with me, then what happens when you go to do it is you will not remember what you're supposed to do. So please do it with me. Okay, then we're going to do 50 squared, and I'm going to do 2500. So when I'm talking, or when you are writing it or putting it into your calculator, if you need to pause the video so you can write down, then do that. But please do the steps in the calculator with me. Okay, so now remember, this is kind of like algebra. When you needed to make sure, it is algebra actually, you need to get all your constants. Your constants are the hard numbers. They don't change, okay? Variables are the ones that we're not sure what the value is of. So we need to get the constants on the same side, and we need the variables on the other side. Well, in this instance, I need to bring 2304. I need to zero pair it, it's called, because I need to get it to be 0 on this side, and then I bring it over here to get it there. Well, if I have a positive 2305, what is going to get rid of it? Well, if you have a plus 2, how can you get 2 to be 0? You subtract 2, don't you? 2 subtract 2 gets you 0. So if I subtract 2304, and then of course the laws of equations say that you have to make your equation always what you do on one side of the equation, you have to do it to the other side to maintain equality. So if you notice why I'm saying side is because I have an equal sign here. So I have to subtract 2304 from this side. Now, did A squared, did I do anything? Can I combine? No. So I'm going to bring it down and I'm going to write A squared. 2304 subtract 2304 gives me 0. Now you can write it, but we don't write it in algebra. I'm just going to cross it off because I zero paired it. Okay, then I write equals, my equal sign, I carry it all the way down. Now 2500 subtract 2304. Hopefully you're putting that in your calculator, and you hit enter, and I get 196 left over. 196. Okay, if you get a negative number, you've done something wrong, because there is no way you can have a negative side length. Think about it. You can't have a negative number for the side of a square or a rectangle or a triangle or any other form for that matter. Okay, so now we're back to that last step that we had before. We need to find the side length, not the square off the side. So we're going to take the square root of A squared, the square root of 196, and we end up with A is equal to, and remember, you're going to put this in your own calculator, second square root 196, and if I don't see you doing this, I'm going to come and make you do it, so please do it with me. And it gets you 14. Okay, so your answer is 14. So C, well, A, actually in this instance, not C, is equal to 14. So I could put it over here, or I can just leave my answer right here. And you will find that as you go on in math, your teachers will appreciate, because you kind of have work showing that you box your answer or circle your answer. Okay? And yes, today you are going to do this over and over and over. You're going to do A and B. You're going to be solving for A or B. So let's look at this triangle. Yes, I expect you to draw that arrow to your hypotenuse, which is C, so then you can identify your A and your B. Today you've got 5 steps. First step, write your formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. No guffing, you're going to do it. I don't know what A is, so I'm going to write A squared plus B is 12, so 12 squared is equal to C, which is 13 squared. Okay. So I need to figure out what these are. A squared has no, I'm not doing anything to it. I'm going to put 12 squared in my calculator. I get 144, because remember, it's not 12 times 2, it's 12 times itself, or 12 times 12. Okay. Then I've got 13 squared, and I get 169. All right, remember I need to zero pair that 144 and bring it over. So I'm going to subtract 144, and what I do on one side of the railroad tracks, or the equal sign, I must do to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 144. I didn't do anything to my A squared, so I'm going to bring my A squared down. Positive 144, subtract 144 gets me 0. So that was my whole goal. That I get my variables all on one side and my constants on the other. So then I have 169, subtract 144, and I get 25. And remember, I'm going to do the square root of both because I don't want to know what A squared is. A squared would be that square that is off that side, okay? So I get A is equal to second square root 25, get out from underneath that square root symbol and hit enter, and I get 5. So my answer is 5. Okay? 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, 5 step. We have 6 steps today. Okay? Okay, let's look at this one down here. I've got A, B, and C. The way I'm doing it now, this would be A and this would be B. I'm going to show you how to do this, but you could just swap these, make this B and this A. Okay? So, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. To me, it's just easier if you form that pattern, but we're going to do it differently because I want to show you that it really doesn't matter. 21 squared plus B squared is equal to 75 squared. Okay, so we're going to put 21 squared and hit enter. I get 441 plus B squared is equal to 75. Hit the X squared button, and it gets me 5625. Okay. Now, remember I want to get my variable by itself, so I'm going to zero pair my 441 by making it 0. Okay, this is a positive, this is a negative, it's going to make it a 0. What I do on one side of the equal sign, I always must do on the other side of the equal sign. So that wipes that one out. I bring this down. I write down B squared is equal to 5625, subtract 441. And I did something wrong. 5625, subtract 441, and it gives me 5184. Now I don't want to know what B squared is, I want to know what B is, so I'm going to take the square root, and I want you showing every step. So I'm going to take second square root 5184, and I'm going to get 72, and that's my answer. One more I'm going to show you. Okay, well, first I need to find C. Then I know what my A and my B are. Like I said, it doesn't matter. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I've got 24 squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. 24 squared in my calculator gets me 576 plus B squared is equal to C squared. Subtract 576 Uh-oh. I made a boo-boo way back up here. All right. When I put my 24 squared, I should have put 40 squared up here. Okay. Now, 40 squared is 1600. Ah, so I couldn't subtract 576 from nothing. Okay. That's where I caught my mistake. Okay. We all make mistakes. So this 0 pairs, I bring my b squared down, is equal to 1600 subtract 576. I get 1024. What's the last step? How do you undo a square? Hopefully by now, if I ask you that question, you immediately say take the square root. So second square root, 1024. And I get 32. Okay, so that is all you're going to do today. These problems are exactly like your practice. And you have 4 on one side, 4 on another side, and according to your instructions, you also have a quizzes. It says finding a leg, so make sure that you are doing that. And I will be coming around to help you as you need it.